What if your cat has been waiting their entire life for one small thing from you, and you never even realized it? Not something complicated, not something expensive, just something so simple, it almost feels invisible. And yet, to them it means everything. Most people believe they understand their cat. You feed them, you pet them, you give them a warm place to sleep. From the outside it looks like love. Feels like enough. But somewhere quietly your cat has been asking for more, in ways so subtle, they're almost impossible to hear unless you're really paying attention. And the hardest part? These aren't big gestures you missed. They're the smallest ones. The kind that happen every single day, the kind you don't even think about getting wrong. Over time, when those small moments keep slipping by, your cat doesn't get louder. They don't demand. They don't complain. They just stop asking. And that silence? That's where the distance begins. The first thing your cat has been waiting for is something most owners unknowingly take away from them. A place above everything else. Think about the last time your cat jumped onto something high. Maybe it was the top of the fridge. A shelf they weren't supposed to be on. The back of a tall cupboard. And your first reaction? Get down. It feels automatic. Like you're correcting bad behavior. But in that exact moment, your cat wasn't being difficult. They weren't being disobedient. They were following something deep inside them. Something older than your home, older than your routines. Something instinctive. To your cat, height isn't just a preference. It's comfort. It's safety. It's control. Up there, they can see everything. Nothing can sneak up behind them. Nothing feels uncertain. The world makes sense from above. Now think about your home through their eyes. When something startles them, where do they go? Under the bed. Behind the couch. Somewhere low, hidden, tight. That's not where they want to be. That's where they go, when they have no better choice. Because no one ever gave them a place to feel safe, without hiding. Just imagine how different it would feel for them if they had a spot high above the ground, a place that belonged only to them. A quiet corner on a shelf. A soft blanket on top of a wardrobe. A tall perch near a window where the outside world moves slowly beneath them. Something shifts when that space exists. They stop disappearing. They start observing. And that change, from hiding to watching, is the moment your cat begins to feel like your home isn't just a place they live. It's a place they own. A place where they finally feel safe. And if that realization surprised you, there's something even more unexpected coming next. Because the second thing your cat has been quietly waiting for isn't something you forgot to do. It's something you've been doing too much. And without realizing it, it might be the reason they pull away from you. The second thing your cat has been waiting for is something that feels completely backwards. It's not about doing more. It's about stopping at the right moment. Think about how many times a day you reach out to your cat. A quick pet while you walk by. A scratch behind the ears when they're resting. A gentle touch just to remind them you're there. It feels harmless, loving even. But now remember the last time you did that, and your cat flinched. Or turned their head. Or quietly walked away like nothing happened. It's easy to ignore. Easy to think, they're just being moody. But they weren't. They were answering you. And the truth is, most of us never realize we're asking a question in the first place. Because to your cat, every touch is a conversation. And every time you reach out without waiting for their signal, you're speaking over them. Not loudly. Not aggressively. Just consistently. Imagine someone constantly hugging you without asking. Even if you like them. Even if you care about them. After a while, something inside you would start to pull back. Not because you don't want connection, but because you don't feel in control of it anymore. That's exactly how your cat feels. They don't experience affection the way we do. For them, it has to begin on their terms. It has to be their choice. That's what makes it safe. That's what makes it real. And when it isn't, something small begins to fade. Not all at once. Not dramatically. Just little pieces of trust, slipping away one moment at a time. But here's where everything changes. Because your cat does ask. Just not in the ways you expect. It's in the quiet head nudge against your hand. The way they walk toward you with their tail lifted high, like a signal you can't hear but can feel. The moment they step into your space and pause, waiting. Those are invitations. Those are the moments they're saying, now. And when you start to notice them, when you stop reaching first and begin waiting instead, something almost magical happens. They come to you more. Not less. They linger longer. They settle closer. They choose you, again and again without being called. Because for the first time you're not taking affection. You're receiving it. And that difference means everything. It's not easy though. Doing nothing rarely feels like the right thing. Sitting still while your cat walks past you, resisting the urge to reach out. It feels unnatural at first. But in that stillness, you become safe, predictable, respectful, calm. Someone they don't have to guard themselves against. And slowly, without force, without training, they begin to trust you in a deeper way. Now, there's something else your cat has been hoping for. Something even simpler, and yet almost no one ever thinks to do it. It doesn't involve your hands. It doesn't involve toys. It doesn't even involve calling their name. It's about where you place yourself in their world. Because right now, without realizing it, you might always be standing above them. And to your cat, that changes everything. There's something your cat sees every single day that you've never truly experienced. But not the version of you that sits, relaxes, or moves gently through the world. They see the towering version. The one that walks past them like a giant. The one whose footsteps echo through the floor. The one that always exists above them. And from that perspective, you're not just familiar. You're overwhelming. Not in a frightening way. Not in a way that makes them run every time they see you. But in a quiet, constant way that keeps a small part of them alert. Because when something is always above you, always bigger than you, always moving unpredictably, you never fully let your guard down. Now imagine what happens the moment that changes. The moment you lower yourself all the way down to their level. No reaching. No calling. No expectations. Just sitting on the floor, a few feet away, existing in the same space they do. At first, it feels like nothing. But to your cat, it's everything. Because suddenly you're not towering anymore. You're not looming. You're not something they have to keep track of every second. You're just there. And in that quiet shift, something inside them softens. Some cats will glance at you, longer than usual. Others will stretch out a little deeper into the floor, their body loosening in a way you've never quite seen before. And some, slowly, carefully, will walk toward you. Not because you called them, but because, for once, you feel easy to approach. It's such a small change. Just a different position. A different height. But it tells your cat something powerful without a single word. I'm not here to control you. I'm here to be with you. And for cats who are shy, anxious, or still learning to trust, this can do more than weeks of treats or toys ever could. Because trust doesn't grow from being convinced. It grows from feeling safe. And sometimes, safety begins with something as simple as sitting down. But even when you're close, even when they're right in front of you, there's one tiny moment that most people rush past without thinking. A moment that decides whether your cat leans in or pulls away. It happens right before your hand touches them. That brief pause, where everything could go right or quietly go wrong. Most people skip it. They go straight for the pet. Straight for the contact. Straight for what they want the moment to be. But to your cat, that moment is an introduction. And when you skip introductions, the connection never fully lands. Your cat doesn't just see your hand. They read it. Through scent. Through presence. Through intention. So instead of reaching all the way, stop just short. Offer your hand, and wait. Let them come the last inch. Let them decide. Because when they lean forward, when they gently press their face against you, that's not just permission. That's trust given freely. And it only takes a second. Just 2 seconds of patience that tell your cat something they've been hoping to feel all along. I see you. I respect you. I'm not going to rush you. Now, there's one final thing. Something your cat has been building their entire life around. Something so deeply tied to you that even the smallest inconsistency can shake it. You've probably noticed it, without realizing what it means. The way they wait for you. At the same time. In the same place. Every single day. Not because they're guessing. But because, to them, you are the center of a pattern they trust. Cats don't measure time the way we do. They don't check clocks or count hours. They feel rhythms. The rhythm of when you wake up. When you feed them. When you sit down at night. When the house becomes quiet. And from those moments, they build a map of their world. A map where everything makes sense. Where everything feels stable. But when that rhythm breaks, even in small ways, something inside them shifts. A meal comes late. A routine disappears. A familiar moment stops happening. To you it's nothing. To them, it's the ground moving under their feet. Because when the one thing they rely on becomes unpredictable, they don't feel secure anymore. And a cat that doesn't feel secure can't fully relax, can't fully trust, can't fully love the way they want to. But when you bring that rhythm back, when you become someone they can count on, even in the smallest ways, something beautiful happens. They soften. They open up. They meet you with a kind of quiet affection that was always there, just waiting for the right conditions to come out. And maybe the most emotional part of all this is something we rarely think about. Your cat has been trying to communicate with you every single day, not just through movement, not just through touch, but through sound. Those soft meows when you walk into the room, the little noises in the kitchen, the quiet calls when they follow you down the hallway at night. That's not random. That's not meaningless. That's a language they created just for you. And most of the time, we hear it, but we don't answer. We smile. We move on. We stay silent. But imagine how it feels to speak and never hear a reply. Now imagine what changes the moment you finally do. When you talk back. When you respond. When you let your voice meet theirs even in the simplest way. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be special. It just has to be something. Because they are listening. They recognize you. Your voice. Your tone. Your presence. And when you speak to them, you're not just making noise. You're completing the conversation they've been trying to have with you all along. And maybe that's what this has always been about. Not doing more. Not being perfect. Just noticing the small things, the quiet signals, the moments that seem too simple to matter. Because to your cat, they're not small at all. They're everything.